Hello everyone, good morning. Yeah, so what we have discussed in our last class, testes. We have seen the structure of the testis and we discussed the formation of the sperm inside the testis. Now today we'll see the procedure, how the sperm is produced, how the sperm is formed inside the testis, inside the seminiferous tubules. The process by which the sperms are formed, that is known as the spermatogenesis. So we'll see how the spermatogenesis takes place. Suppose this is a cell which is the spermatogonium. Here's the spermatogonium which is actually converting into the primary spermatocyte. Then the primary spermatocyte is converting into the secondary spermatocyte, and here the secondary spermatocyte is converting into the spermatids, and finally the spermatids are converting into the sperms. But this procedure is not happening so easily. Here are the divisions taking place. The spermatogonium cell is becoming the primary spermatocyte. The primary spermatocyte cell is becoming, it is showing the meiosis 1, and here the spermatogonium is becoming primary spermatocyte by the division that is known as the mitotic division. So in the mitotic division we know the chromosomal number become half. So suppose in this cell the chromosomes are X, 44 plus X and Y. So here it will become 22, it will become 44 plus X, Y, because we know that in the mitotic division the chromosome number remains the same. Here it is known as the primary spermatocyte. It will show the meiosis first, and in the first meiotic division the chromosomal number become half. So these two cells will become 22 plus X, and this will become 22 plus Y, means the chromosomal number become half because it is a reductional division. Now this secondary spermatocyte will again show the meiotic division second, which is actually equivalent to the mitotic division. So the chromosomal number will remain same, and it will become 22. It will again divide in two cells, that will 22 plus X. Only the cells will become 2, but the chromosomal number will remain same. And here it will divide into two cells, that is the 22 plus Y, and here is also 22 plus Y. So these are known as the spermatid, which is actually formed by the meiotic division second. These spermatids will again further convert into the sperms, which are actually the male gametes which are formed inside the male. So this is the whole process by which the spermatogenesis is taking place and how the sperms are forming. Here we'll understand it once again. The spermatogoniums are there in the seminiferous tubules. They will show the mitotic division, and because of the mitotic division the one cell will become two cells, one cell will divide into two cells, but the chromosome number will remain same. So here the spermatogonium is converting into the primary spermatocyte. It is showing the meiosis first, and it is converting into the secondary spermatocyte. The chromosomal number in the meiosis first will decrease, will become half, because it is the reductional division. So the chromosome number you can see is becoming half, and second spermatocyte is again showing the meiosis second, and they are forming the spermatids, and finally the spermatids is converting into the sperms. Now here this spermatogenesis process is divided into two parts. The formation of the spermatid from the spermatogonium till here, this process is known as spermatocytogenesis, and from spermatid to sperm it is known as spermiogenesis. This process is completing into three phases. One is the multiplicative phase, second is the growth phase, and the third one is the maturation phase. Here you can see the spermatogoniums are multiplying and they are forming they are increasing the number of cells. They are known as the primary spermatocytes, and then primary spermatocyte is growing, they are maturing, they are and then finally they are dividing into the secondary spermatocyte, that is the growth phase, and finally the maturation phase, the spermatids are maturing into the sperms. So this phase is completing into the 3 stages. That was about the spermatogenesis. Now next topic will start, that is the structure of sperm. Structure of sperm will see the formation of sperm is forming the sperm. So which kind of what is the structure, or which kind of structure the sperms are having? So to see the structure of the sperm, it is like this. This is the outermost covering, this is the outermost layer of the sperm. This is the head portion, which is actually made by one nucleus is there. This is the head part, which is having one nucleus, and other than the nucleus, inside it, the acrosomal part is there. This is the acrosome, which is made by the Golgi apparatus, and which is having the hydrolytic enzymes in it. So what is the function of the hydrolytic enzyme? When the sperm will enter into the fallopian tube of the female, and the sperm will meet with the ovum of the female, so these hydrolytic enzyme will damage the membrane of the ovum, and they will enter inside the ovum. So this is the function of acrosome. Here it is the nucleus which is present. A big nucleus is there. It is beyond the nucleus. Here this is the neck part. Here we can see 2 centrioles are present, and the centriole, which one is the proximal centriole and one is the distal centriole. This proximal centriole will enter inside the ovum of the female along with the nucleus, and the distal centriole will remain outside. This is the head portion. This one is the neck, and below the neck there is the middle piece. This one is the middle piece part. Inside the middle piece there is the mitochondria, which is present along with the axial filament. Okay, so the mitochondria is present here, and the role of the mitochondria is very much clear to provide the energy to the to the sperm to move inside the man's body and then inside the fallopian tube of the females. Finally, this middle piece is further connected to this tail part. This is the structure of the sperm and the function of the. Now, here it is the ending of the male reproductive part. Now we'll start the next part, that is the female reproductive part. Female reproductive part, in which we'll see So here in the female, the primary sex organ is the ovaries, which are 2 in number. These ovaries are producing the ovum every month after the puberty, after the maturation of their sex organs. And these ovaries are connected with the fallopian tube. So after the releasing the ovum is coming into the fallopian tube, and both the fallopian tube are coming and opening into the uterus part, where actually the fertilized egg cell will implanted in the baby. The fetus will grow here, and this is the external genitalia, which is known as the vaginal part, through which the sperms are entered into the female reproductive system. So we'll see the structure of the female reproductive part here. A general structure if we'll talk about. So this kind of structure we'll find. In this structure, what actually is happening here, this is the finger-like projections. This is the outermost layer and the internal part of the female reproductive. This is known as the fimbriae, the finger-like structure, which is actually the part of the fallopian tube. Here, these fimbriae are connected with 2 ovaries both the sides. These round-shaped structure is the ovary, which are actually releasing the ovum every month, and the ovum is taken by the finger-like projection, that is the fimbriae, inside the fallopian tube. This is the fallopian tube, and this part is the uterus part, and below the uterus here is the cervix, and this final opening part is the vaginal part. This is the common structure of the female reproductive system. So we can say there are 2 ovaries which are actually releasing one ovum and that can be released by any ovaries every month, and that ovum after releasing it is coming into the fallopian tube through the fimbriae, and if inside the fallopian tube the sperm is present, that time that ovum will fuse and it will become fertilized, and then it will go into the uterus and it will implant. If it is not fertilized there, that released ovum will be taken out from the body along with the menstrual cycle, which actually takes place inside the females. Okay. Now here we'll see the structure of the ovaries. So this is the structure of the ovary. The ovary is having two parts. One is the cortex region, and the middle one is the internal part is the medulla region. Inside the cortex region, inside the medulla region, lots of blood vessels are flowing, present, in which the blood is flowing. The blood capillaries are present here inside the medulla region, in which the blood is flowing continuously. In the cortex region, what is happening? In the cortex region, the ovum is becoming mature, the graphic and follicle cell is becoming mature, and inside that the ovum is present. So this is the first cell, which is known as the primary follicle cell. It will mature and it will become the secondary follicle cell. It will mature and it will become the tertiary follicle cell. And finally, it will become a mature graphic and follicle cell. Inside this is ovum, and this whole structure is the mature graphic and follicle cell. Now what happens when this ovum is released from this mature graphic and follicle cell, and the follicle cell will become empty? This empty follicle cell is known as this corpus luteum, and then it will convert into the corpus albicans. This is the process which happens actually inside the ovary, and by this process the ovum is released from the ovary every month. Now we'll see here the menstrual cycle. Now here it is the process by which the women take out the released ovum from their body every month, and this happens after the puberty, means after getting the maturity of their sex organs, like at the age of 10 to 12 years, the female started releasing the ovum every month from the ovaries, and if the ovum is not fertilized with the sperm, it will definitely get out from the body by this process. Now this menstrual cycle is divided into 4 parts, that is proliferative, then ovulation phase, the luteal phase, and finally it is the menstrual phase. How it is taking place here? Actually, this is the procedure which is taking 1 to 10 days. Then on 14th day, then it will become 10 days, and then it will take 4 to 7 days. Now, as I told you, what is happening here inside the ovary after the puberty, this procedure is taking place there every month. So the follicle cells are becoming mature, and then they are taking at least 10 to 12 days to become mature. So that is the proliferative phase, in which the follicle cells become mature, and it will become mature graphic and follicle cell. Inside the cell, the ovum is mature. Now after that, what is happening? That is the ovulation phase. Means on the 14th day, when the follicle cell become completely mature, this cell become completely mature, then this ovum which is present inside this follicle cell will be released from the follicle cell inside the ovary. That is known as the ovulation phase. Now, as the ovulation phase takes place, the next phase is the luteal phase. What will happen? Because the follicle cell has become empty, and inside the follicle cell, the corpus luteum yellow pigment will be accumulated, and that in that condition, this follicle cell will be known as the corpus luteum. Now, the corpus luteum will release one hormone that is known as the progesterone hormone, and at the same time the LH hormone is also secreted by the pituitary gland. So because of the LH hormone and the progesterone hormone, this corpus luteum is formed. Now what will happen if at that time this ovum will get the sperm, then it will become fertilized, and the progesterone hormone will keep on released by the corpus luteum, and it will fix there, it will keep on releasing the progesterone hormone. This is known as the luteal phase. If this ovum will not get the sperm that time, then definitely it will need to be released out from the body. So that time what will happen? This corpus luteum will convert into the corpus albicans, so the enzyme and the hormone which is secreted from the corpus luteum, that is uh, progesterone hormone, and the LH hormone which is secreted from the pituitary gland, both the hormones will be decreased, and then finally as the hormones will decrease, then the menstrual cycle will take place. Here what will happen? The uterine walls will be ruptured, will become weak, will be ruptured, and there will be the bleeding. And along with the bleeding, the ovum which is released from the mesogastric and follicle cell, it will be taken out from the body every month. So the whole procedure will be repeated every month in the females, around 28 to 30 days every month. The first starting of the menstrual cycle is known as the menarche, around the age of 10 to 12 years, and the ending of the menstrual cycle is known as the menopause. It will take around the 45 to 50 years in the females. So this was about the female reproductive system. Now next we'll see the formation of ovum. As we have discussed, in the males the formation of the sperm, that is the spermatogenesis. Similarly in the females there is the formation of ovum, that is known as the oogenesis. Now here all the steps will remain same, but there are slight difference in it. It is the first cell, oogonium is here. It will convert into the primary oocyte, then secondary oocyte, then it will convert into the ovum, and some will convert into the polar bodies. How we'll see it. Suppose it is the oogonium, it will convert into the primary oocyte cell, then it will become secondary oocyte. This secondary oocyte will again show the meiosis second, which is actually equivalent to the mitotic division. Here what we can see some differences here. That is, the difference is what is happening here. The oogonium is making the mitotic division. In the mitotic division, we know that if it is having 44 plus X chromosome, it will remain same here, 44 plus X in the primary oocyte. It will show the meiosis first. In the meiosis first, what will happen? It will become so the chromosome number will become half. It will remain 22 plus X, and here also 22 plus X. It will show the meiosis second. In the meiosis second, what is actually happening? You can see here, this cell will become the ovum, that is actually the ovum, and these cells will be degenerated because they are become the polar bodies, which are actually having no use here. That's why they become polar bodies and they will be degenerated. So actually we can say that one ovarium is actually forming one ovum only in the females, but in the male what was happening? Ovarium, the primary spermatocyte was forming actually 4 sperms. So this is the basic difference, that from one primary spermatocyte only, from one primary oocyte only one ovum will be formed, and 3 will become the polar bodies which will be degenerated from the body. So this was all about the formation of the sperm and the female reproductive system and the formation of the ovum in the female. Till here we have finished. Now the last part of this chapter, that is the fertilization part, is remaining. That we'll see in the next class. Till then.